Hey guys, this video is important. I'm going to talk to you about how to conquer your fears and face any challenge. Dennis Waitley says, it's not what you are that holds you back. It's what you think you are not. Eleanor Roosevelt would say, you gain strength, courage, and confidence by every experience in which you really stop to look fear in the face. You are able to say to yourself, I lived through this horror. I can take the next thing that comes along. And Franklin Roosevelt has a great quote on fear. He said, we have nothing to fear but fear itself. But fear can cripple us. It can stop us from living the life of our dreams and taking any risks. In this video, I'm going to give you advice on how to overcome your fears. Now, what is fear? It's a terrible thing, and there's a simple reason for that. It's because it limits what you can accomplish. Your fears prevent you from doing the things you want to do. They make you second guess yourself, and they prevent you from taking chances. That in turn means that your fears put restrictions on you, and they go as far as to limit your freedom. So the question is, how can you destroy fear and face whatever challenges you choose? First of all, be willing to fail. Herman Melville, the author of Moby Dick, said that man that has never failed, that man cannot be great. It's because you learn more from your failures than from anything else. The painful lesson of failure is deep in your memory, and it leads to future successes. Tony Robbins put it this way. Success in life is the result of good judgment. Good judgment is usually the result of experience, and experience is usually the result of bad judgment. It's not a brave man or woman who believes they cannot fail. That's a foolish one. Rather, it is a brave person who knows they can fail, but is willing to live with that possibility. This is the central philosophy of Stoicism. In a nutshell, the notion that you might fail, but it's okay. Stoicism is an ancient Greek philosophy, and it was developed by Zeno of Citium around 300 BC. And it teaches the development of self-control and fortitude as a means of overcoming destructive emotions. Fear is a destructive emotion, or it can be. The fear of a lion or a bear or a poisonous snake can keep you alive because you avoid them. And this is good. But overwhelming, crippling fear of things that can't kill you or even hurt you is often irrational. Once you accept the possibility that you might fail and that it's okay, you realize you're going to survive, and it liberates you to try new things and deal with the consequences as they come. Now, so go talk to that person that you want to talk to. What's the worst that could happen? They ignore you or they laugh at you. Big deal. You'll survive. Take the risk. Next, love the challenge. It pays to enjoy the challenge. You don't fail until you stop trying. In the meantime, everything else is just another challenge. It's just another obstacle. Think of how dull life would be if everything was easy.
That was easy.
If everything was easy and simple and given to you and there were no challenges, that would be boring. If your goal is to write a book and you don't get anything done today, you didn't fail to write a book. You just didn't have a good day. You only fail if you never go back to return to write that book. Babe Ruth once said, it's hard to beat a man who never gives up. The reality is that our brains and our bodies are designed to grow. They love challenges because it stimulates that growth and gives us a chance to better ourselves. So when your boss is giving you a hard time, consider it a test of resolve. Or when you're struggling with debt, think of it as a challenge to earn the money you need to. Now, face your fears. This is my next tip. Tim Ferriss describes this process as a person who comes to terms with their own fears and faces them. This is called fear setting, and it involves writing down all the things that you are afraid of on a piece of paper, and then writing down how you deal with each scenario and what the worst outcome of each one would be. So if you're afraid of changing jobs, then maybe your fear stems from the fact that you might not like your new job or that you might not be able to do it. But how likely is that? You managed with this last job. You wouldn't have gotten the job if the employer didn't think you were capable. And if that happened, wouldn't you just change jobs again? Ask yourself this question. What is it that you fear? Because once you understand what it is that you fear, it becomes less terrifying. Now, there are kind of two reasons that we might fear something. Number one, we fear losing something. Or number two, we fear the pain. For example, we fear that if we change our life or we do this new thing, we might experience a loss. If we make this change in our life, we might lose a certain group of friends or we might lose something else. I do jujitsu, and sometimes when I get in a dominant position on top of a person, I know the next move I should go for, but I'm often fearful that if I go for that move, I will lose my dominant position. And so sometimes, instead of taking action, I just stay in that dominant position. I do nothing. That's wrong. You need to take the risk. Another thing that we fear is pain. We think it might be too hard. We think, oh, I don't want to take that new job because it might be just too hard and that's too scary. Or I don't want to lose weight because it's going to be too hard to say no to the foods that I love. But when you are fearful of what you will lose or fearful of the pain of the process, you need to go back to step one in this video and remember that failing is okay. Be willing to fail. Be okay with failure. When Thomas Edison was trying to invent the light bulb, he was asked how it felt to fail 10,000 times. He actually had 10,000 wrong attempts to build the light bulb. His reply was, I have not failed. I have found 10,000 ways that won't work. He said many of life's failures are people who did not realize how close they were to success when they gave up. If he had been consumed with the fear of failure, of what if this doesn't work? What if I waste my time? What if everyone laughs at me? What if I lose money? If he had been consumed by these fears and let them master him, he would have never have invented the light bulb. So in conclusion, relax. Your fears are most likely worse than reality.
Oh.
You're creating stories in your mind that aren't even true, outcomes that aren't even true. Relax. Spend time and go watch others do what you fear. If it's something like public speaking that you fear, maybe join a group and learn how to get up in front of a group and practice doing what you fear. Once you do what you fear, it no longer is your master. You have controlled it. Comment and let me know, what are you afraid of? What are your fears? But more importantly, how are you going to conquer your fear? Did you get any good advice here from me today on how to conquer your fears? Give me a like if you liked it, and I'll see you on the next video.